Welcome to another episode of Not Your Average Lives. And today's episode is going to be a little bit strange because it's Monday and it's not an interview. It's just going to be me today. And that is because I am celebrating 1 year of this podcast. Holy moly. I had no idea when I started this how committed I would be to it and how much I would love it and what it would bring me in terms of just new relationships, new insight. Because when I do my own episodes, I do a little research and I think about what my audience would like to hear. And it really has helped teach me. And the people that I've had as guests, oh my gosh, so much learnings, so much amazingness. I can't even begin to describe. In fact, one of my recent guests, I'm actually just signed up for her academy. So I'm really excited about that. And that's going to come up as I share what I'm going to share today, because today I want to share, I started this podcast on purpose last year on my 61st birthday. So my birthday was yesterday. I turned 62, and I wanted to do this podcast episode as a reflection of what happened for me over the past year, a lot of which was a very unknown when I started the year. So you start in, if you're a planner like me, where I have a system that I follow and I set out every 90 days with a plan. But as you work it, you get more clarity and things come up that you didn't know even didn't exist when you sat down and did the 90-day plan. And I do this year vision, and so what my year vision is. And so I thought it would be really useful to hear how much I did. And that's another thing, is I teach my students to reflect on accomplishments, not only what you've done in your life, because a lot of us forget so much of what we've done in our life. We always remember and dwell on the things that we think we did wrong or that we should have done that we didn't do, instead of looking at all the things that we did do, and even little things that were accomplishments, uh, that you might not think were accomplishments. And so I look back every 90 days, or actually every month. And then I do it in 90 days, but I do a year reflection as well. And so in order to prepare for this episode, I looked back and I just wanted to get some of the highlights. And I want you to know what goes through my mind, because a lot of the stuff that happened, I didn't know a year ago would happen. And so that's the first thing. And the second thing is that I had no idea I would be doing this at age 61. And I set out a year ago to have the best year of my life, because every year I want to have the best year of my life. Who wouldn't want to have the next year be their best year, right? Who wants it to be behind them? No, I don't think you want your best year to be behind you. So I want every year to be my best year. And so I set out a year ago to have it be my best year. And I have a positive attitude, and so that was kind of like my positivity going into my 61st year. And well, I think it's really your 62nd year, because your first year is 0 to 1, right? But anyways, we'll just go with it. Like, let's say I was 61, it was my 61st year. So I set out for my 61st year to have it be my best year. And then, like, little did I know, February 14th, right? Think about it. A year ago, February 14th, we were just starting to hear about this virus, this COVID-19. And in fact, I took a plane flight on the 17th. And so I didn't know when I took that plane flight about it. I probably wouldn't have taken the plane flight had I known about it. So, and then you think it's probably one of the worst years that I can remember in terms of fear and unknowns and holy crap, what is going to happen? Am I going to get sick? Or is somebody I love going to get sick? But yet I look back now and I think it was my best year, because I'm living the life I absolutely love and hoped to live. And when I wasn't living the life that I always have been positive, and I've always looked for the silver lining, and made the lemonade out of lemons. But if you followed me at all, you know that for a lot of my life, I was misaligned in what I feel is my purpose. And so I was basically trying to plug me, uh, the round thing in a square hole. And it was like, not for a lot of my life, I just didn't feel like I was thriving in the way that I could thrive, that I really wasn't living the who I was supposed to live authentically in the activities that I did every day. In other words, I was doing activities every day that I was good at, but I wasn't necessarily sparking me with joy. And so that's just a little bit of background of I started and I got intentional a couple years ago with really finding what I wanted to do and living that and embracing that and trusting that. And that's a big part of it is trusting that. So this episode is just a little walk down memory lane in what is possible that you don't even know, but if you start taking the action, clarity will come, and that you have no idea what is possible for someone who's 61, and you have no idea what is possible in just 12 months time, and how much can change and shift in 12 months that you never expected. So, and then just to go back a little bit before that day I turned 61, I was in October 2018 working a corporate job that I was miserable at. Waking up every morning on Monday, like dreading going to work. In fact, it started Sunday night. I just was like, oh, I got to go back to work tomorrow. Ugh. And so, but I had this side gig that I was working that I loved. I had created a program, a course. I had turned it into a membership. And so I was really loving what I was doing. And so I went to an event, and at the event, I just had this huge universe download that I had been actually cogitating on this and for a while, but the big download was, and I talked about in a previous episode, is I it's time. It's time to like jump and just trust that the net will catch me. To have pure faith in what I'm doing is the right thing, and knowing that the universe will guide me and will take care of me. And if I'm aligned in living authentically as to who I am, then it will be okay. It will be okay. And so I did a very, very scary thing that October. And on the plane home, I wrote an email to my boss and I quit my job. And this was a very secure job. It was for a big company that I mean, I got bonuses. I had a six-figure income. It paid our health insurance. So, there are a lot of reasons logically that I should have not quit my job. That's that my husband was like, "Are you sure you wanna do this?" And I was like, just like going with my gut, because my gut was saying, "This is not who you are, what you're supposed to be or do in the world, and you don't have a lot of time left, so you better get to doing what you love or you're gonna run out of time." And so that was kind of the mindset I had in that moment. And so that was what, 4 months leading up to this birthday, right? And things happen sometimes slower than we want them to. So things didn't immediately start clicking, right? Except it's like, and the best analogy is like, you're on a path and you just keep following it and the light keeps getting brighter. Like that, there was a fork that day in the road in October, and it was like, you go that way or you go that way. And I took the right fork. I took the right path that day, but it wasn't an immediate, oh, like all like bells and whistles and rings and everything was all hunky dory. I still had to go and learn those lessons to take me to more clarity. So, so on that day, what I had started doing as I had started recording episodes and putting them out on Facebook, because I had wanted to start a podcast, but I didn't know how to do that. The tech was overwhelming me. So I thought, okay, stop overthinking, stop thinking everything needs to be perfect, because that's, sometimes us perfectionists do that. So I'll just start recording episodes. I'll ask some friends who have topics that I want to talk about, and we'll just record an episode and on Zoom. Everybody knows about Zoom now, right? So I'll record on Zoom and then we'll just put it out on my Facebook page. So I did that. So then I decided, okay, I'm good. We're going to figure out the tech. I actually had somebody help me. And so I was like, okay, we need to find a podcasting platform. We need to figure out how to upload these episodes I've recorded onto the podcast, and I'm going to commit. I'm going to commit starting on February 14th. We're going to publish what I have, what I've uploaded to Facebook. We're going to publish that, and then we're going to just start every week. I'm going to commit to doing an episode. And that we did on February 14th. We launched our first episodes. And since that time, and I went into this whole year with that was my number one, right? Is I want to do this podcast and I'm going to commit to doing it every day. And I wanted to continue what was then my membership and growing that membership. So I that's what I did. So, and today, a year later, I have this is the 93rd episode. I have almost 100 episodes that I have done in 1 year that I wouldn't have even predicted. I would have predicted if I was consistent and that's what I would have done. Had I set out to do a weekly, it would have been 52, right? It would have been 52 episodes. But I did more than that. And I had more amazing conversations than I ever thought I would have. I met more interesting people than I ever thought that day. And I've done my own episodes of content and content that I never knowledge I didn't even know I had. And so how amazing is that? Just looking at my podcast. So I'm celebrating 1 year of this podcast, and the other things that I did on top of that, I made a list, and these are just the highlights. I mean, I just want you to know this is all possible for you. All you have to do is make a decision that you're just going to do what you love. And then you just start taking one baby step at a time. And so it wasn't that I decided everything a year ago. It's that I kept taking more action towards that which I wanted to do. And so and it culminated in an amazing year. I went out to dinner with my husband last night, and we had the most delicious dinner, and we went out. I said, "I don't even care where we go." He made a joke. We have this restaurant. It's kind of it's kind of an old-fashioned diner kind of place. But, it's like you can get a spaghetti dinner for like $4. I mean, it's not like any expensive meal, but, and most of the meals are kinda like country, like, unhealthy meals, so it wouldn't be my first place to go, but he loves it, and he made a joke that he was gonna take me to candlelight dinner at that restaurant, and so but what we do every year is he gets in the car, we get in the car because I have a Valentine's birthday, and everybody and their brother goes out to Valentine's Day, so but I like surprises, and I said, "Okay, I want you to just, like, pick place because that to me is, like, words of what is it? Like, gifts of service or whatever, acts of service, yeah, I like it when my husband does something and it's unexpected, even though it's my birthday and I know we're gonna go to dinner, but I don't know where it is. It's kinda like unwrapping a gift, right? So got in the car, I didn't know where we were going, and then we get to this really nice restaurant in town, and it was such a delicious dinner, like scallops for an appetizer and filet mignon. Yes, I eat meat. It was so delicious, and a delicious dessert. So anyways, so when we were going to dinner and I was like sitting there just like relishing in the fact that, oh my gosh, I can't believe number one, I'm 62 years old and that I have had such an amazing year. Like, when I entered this decade, I was like, okay, this is going to be my best decade. And I thought my 50s were pretty damn incredible. So, going back to my first, my college sweetheart and rekindling and getting married on my 50th year to him, well, it's hard to top, right? But I just had this feeling like the 60s are going to be even better and just knowing that my 61st year was so amazing and that I'm right where I feel that I need to be and should be was super amazing. And these are some of the things, just some of the things that I did, many of which I had no like friggin' clue I was going to do. So one thing that I did, and it's something that I've always wanted to do, was I got certified in neuro coaching, and I always wanted to be certified in coaching. And I think I had some gifts in this area, but I never. I think when you end up getting the training and actually getting that official certification, you just feel a little, I guess, anointed. You feel like, yes, you sometimes you need that belief in yourself, and if it comes with a credential, then go for it. You don't I know that you don't need that, but yet for me, it gave me a lot of knowledge that I wouldn't have had if I hadn't done it, that I now am using and helping people with. So I got certified in neuro coaching, and I that happened in June. So then I also, since in the 12 months, I've hired 2 full-time team members, and it's really scary to hire people, especially when you think you can't afford to hire them. But what I've learned is that we have to we can't wait for what we want to take the action that needs to be taken. And when it comes to building a business, you it's pretty impossible to do it alone. It's pretty impossible. You can't do all the grunt work and still advance your business. You have to hire people who are willing to get behind the mission and do the grunt work, and where you can do what you specialize in. So, and for me, that's obviously the content in which I put out and the coaching that I'm able to do. So I hired 2 full-time people so I don't have to do all the tech. I mean, I can learn it. I know I can learn it. In fact, I did learn it before I hired somebody, but, uh, you hire somebody who can do it so much better than you. That's the point, right? I don't edit my podcast episodes. I have somebody do that. That's time consuming, and when I've done it, I've like, "Why am I doing this? This is taking me too much time." So I've learned that. I and some of this, it's not all gonna be business. I adopted a new baby. Yes, I did. I got a new baby, but it's not the kind you think. I adopted a puppy, and it has been the biggest blessing, and it's so crazy because, I love dogs, and I lost my dog last January, and so last birthday, February 14th, I did not have a dog, and I'm a dog woman, and so it was, but I knew that because I on the 17th of February, 3 days after my birthday, I was getting on a plane to go get him, and so that was my last flight. But, we had picked him out, so I knew that I was going to be a mom again on my birthday. So that was kind of a known, but I didn't know anything about him in terms of his personality, what would happen, what would transpire, what we would learn in the process. And so our anniversary is on Wednesday of picking him up, and he has been the best dog I think I've ever had, and he's so sweet and smart and makes us laugh every single day, and he even rings the bell with his nose to go out. That is quite a feat. So I was like, after cleaning up a lot of messes, but it's been well worth it and quite a journey. And I think I counted up 5 virtual events. These would have been in-person events had we not had COVID. So, but they were amazing, and I learned so much from them. And so I am going to be attending more. In fact, my first one is the end of March, and I'm really excited about that. And every time I learn something, I digest it and I teach it. And so it goes to my students, and it also goes to you who are my listeners on my podcast, because that's what I do. That's what I do, and that's what I feel helps people, and that's what I love doing. And so I had no idea I was going to do this either. So remember, I said I started with a membership on my birthday, and all my plans were around building and growing that membership. And I canceled it. I stopped it because it wasn't making me feel aligned with what I was supposed to do ultimately. And the women, although I had women who had joined it, they weren't getting the transformations that I know are possible with what I do. And so it just wasn't working. And when something's not working, you have to step back and do something different. It doesn't mean it's a failure. It just means, because I wouldn't know what I know if I had not done that membership. And it was actually my second membership, because I had rebranded it and relaunched it, and it still didn't work. So it wasn't the branding that was the problem. So I canceled the membership, and what I did is I branded a course that I had, and I rebranded that, I updated it, and I relaunched it in July. And on my birthday, I had no idea that was gonna happen, but that's what I did. And that has truly been my best decision of my past 12 months. So I relaunched my signature program, the second half Spark School, and I love it so much. And the transformations that are coming out of it are incredible. So I went with my gut on that, and it worked. When you go with your gut and you trust the process, remember, I quit my corporate job. I trusted my gut on that, and I trusted that the universe would take care of me, and it has. But the universe doesn't blindly take care of you. You know, it takes care of the people who take the action towards that which, they're like they're aligned with. And so I did that. I also another thing I did is I created my Spark System workbook, and it's something that I'd wanted to do for a long time that I had put on a back burner. And and with the help of my virtual assistant, we put together a workbook and now give it to my students, and I use it every single day. I use my workbook, and I look at it and I'm just like so proud of it. And it's nothing fancy. I mean, it's like something anybody could do, right? But it's in a official looking little, binder or, spiral thing, and I don't even know what it's called, but, I just love it. It's great. So that I did that, and that wasn't up on my plan, right? I mean, I think in the back of my mind, I was like, "It would be nice to have this," but I didn't have any plan for getting it done. I created a quiz. I had my midlife fulfillment quiz, which is really incredible. I love it, and I think it helps people. What it does is it gives people something to think about when they get an answer. It gives a reason why. And if you've never done it, you can go to notyouraverage grandma.com/quiz. I think you can get it there, but it just gives you something to think about. And my desire for it is that it will prompt some baby step. It will prompt some action to take. If you don't like the answer you get. Okay. So that was fun to do. And that was something that I, when I first heard about the quiz technology, I was like, oh, that would be really fun to do. But then I got overwhelmed with like, oh, I don't know how to do that. And oh, it's going to be so hard. And I wouldn't know how the answers would work or how to figure that out. And gave myself all these excuses for not doing it. And when I did it, because there's all this software now that that kind of does the figuring out for you. And it was super fun to do. And I did it all myself. So I just, that was so much fun. So I also created a brand new program that I didn't have that supports business owners. So I have this little special place in my heart because my second half Spark School helps people find purpose in their second half. It's like for purpose seekers, really. But I have this little special place in my heart because the old me would have needed this for people who, when they find their purpose, they want to monetize it. And so I created this program to support people who are in that area of their life. And oftentimes I say, when you set out to find your purpose, you don't even know you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know how it will culminate and what will come up after you find it. And so a lot of people, when they start with purpose seeking, they have no idea that they might want to turn it into a business, and some don't and some do. And so isn't it cool to be able to support those people, because I've done it and I can help people who want to do that. So that's where the desire came from, is because I have this knowledge and I can help these people. So let's do that. So I did that. What else did I do? I learned a lot of new software. People, when they get older, I have a lot of people say I'm technically challenged. Technology is hard. They have all these limiting beliefs around technology when it's easier than it's ever been. And, sometimes when I don't know, I can't get it, I just like go to my kids and we share screens and they show me how to do it. So that's what kids are for. Didn't you know? They show us how to use this technology. So, but I've learned a lot of new technology. So like I was just looking at some of the stuff, some of the fun stuff like reels. Instagram has reels now. I'm still like a little challenged with it, but I'm learning it. I did one about my Christmas tree. So, and then I have this new text messaging tool called Community, and it's really fun. It allows me to connect with people who've gone through and done my free training, and my students. So, anyways, I have Adobe Lightroom is this new app I've learned how to use, which you can do like it's more lighting related filters to brighten your photos. And this new cool thing that I got called Wave Video, and it lets you make these cute little videos. Again, this is something I shouldn't be doing, but it's sometimes I like just doing these things and figuring them out in my spare time. So yeah, I actually my virtual assistant helps me with that too. Another thing I did is I got my fire pit. Oh my gosh, I never would have gotten my fire pit, but I was attending a coaching call and we were challenged with doing something that we've wanted to do, but we were holding back because, we have, there might be a reason, oh, I can't afford it. I can't afford it. I shouldn't do that. But like, what if you just went with an abundance mindset and said, okay, I am going to go and do this. And I just know it'll take care of itself and the money will come and whatever, whatever. Right. So it was funny because right after that decision to do that, I got an email that my mom had this money. I managed the money for my mom, and not that this was my money, but it was still showing like money can come from anywhere. And I got this letter saying that she had lived in Florida, and they found this law firm looks for lost money and then contacts people, tries to find people that because every state has a fund of lost money. So you should look into it actually. Because you might have money that's owed to you, but I don't know where I'm not exactly sure where it came from. But they found like $7,000 for my mom. And so that was really cool because that more than covered my fire pit. But I didn't use her money, but it was like just the money mindset. It's like, I don't have the money. I don't have the money. And then money to my mother comes out of nowhere. And it's like, oh, money can come from anywhere. So anyways, it was just a cool experience of doing that. And every time I look at my backyard and I see my fire pit, it makes me so, so happy. So isn't that worth something? I have gotten a lot of spanks in the past year, a lot of spanks, because if you follow me on social media, I do occasionally talk about my spanks. And if you didn't know about spanks, it's more than undergarments. They have leggings, they have jeans, which I guess you call jeggings. And my closet is full of them. So I love them. In fact, my daughter just gave me some new ones. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I guess got my look, can't really see them. It's hard to see them. They're green camo leggings. All right. My hair is longer. Look at my long hair. That is like so crazy. That is not on purpose. I thought that my days of long hair were over, but everybody's telling me how much they like it. And so I'm like, well, maybe it's okay. Maybe it's okay to be 62 and have long hair. So I always thought my hair would get shorter with age, but it's longer. It's crazy long. Look. Oh my gosh. And I, in fact, am liking it. And I'm going a little more straight the past couple weeks than curly. So that was unexpected. I tried breath work for the first time, and I've done 3 sessions of it, and I've signed up for a breath work course. So I'm excited about that. I tried floating. If you don't know what floating is, you get in this big, huge tub with Epsom salts, and it is amazing, and you float for, like, 60 minutes, and I got actually a package because 'cause I'm gonna do more of that. Because my word for the year is silence, and when you float, you're in silence, and it's amazing. It is amazing experience, so if you haven't tried floating, I would try it, and if you're a busy, busy, busy person and you have a hard time settling down and being quiet, you should do floating. That should be on your self-care list. Um, I counted them, 15 new workshops. 15. That's like crazy. That's like more than one a month that I did. So that was really, really incredible when I looked back and was counting those up. I was like, holy crap, I did a lot of workshops. Um, And, oh, I did personality typing, and now I have my students go through that. I loved that experience, and that's somebody Alex, I had him on my podcast back in, I think, September. It was the one on authenticity, if you're scrolling back and looking, but he's an incredible person who has created this personality typing methodology, and he in fact, I'm taking my students through, we're doing, actually breaking it into 2 sessions next week, so I can't wait to do that with them. But he is incredible, and he will read you like a book and tell you things you actually when he tells you, you'll be like, "I knew that, but holy how did you know that? How did you know that?" So it's pretty an incredible, yeah, and I heard him on a podcast. It's kind of crazy how you meet people and how these things can shift things in your life. I met him. I heard him on a podcast, and I went to his website, and I made an appointment, and, like, he's done so much for my students. Um, I grew my student community, so with amazing women, like kindred spirits. It's like the people that I would want to have over to my house for coffee or wine, just like the best people ever. So I'm so excited about the community that's growing. Like I said, back a year ago, I had no idea. I had no idea I had a membership. I didn't have my course was sitting unused and had a different name. It's crazy how we like our logic mind takes us away from what we're supposed to do because that's what it was. My membership was created because logically I thought, oh, I'll get more people if I do a membership. And that's not the answer. That wasn't meant to be the answer for me. And I had to learn those lessons, not fail. I had to learn those lessons by trying it and it not really working. And then I was like, let me try this other thing that might work. And it took off. So I've read some really life-changing books. So that is something that I want to do more of this year. I think I wanted to do like one book a month, and I don't think I hit that. So, but I really want to do that because books are like 2 of them that really made a big difference was Happy Pocket Full of Money and Life Visioning by Michael Beckwith. That one was Michael Beckwith. Forget the other one. Was it Michael Singer maybe was the Happy Pocket Full of no, no, no. That guy has a weird name. Gilbrand something. Anyways, I'll put it in the show notes so you guys know. I've mentioned them before, but these were 2 really incredible life-changing books. And I got back into fiction reading, which I had gone away from, which I'm so glad I did. So I did a money mindset challenge with a 31-day challenge, and it was really eye-opening and really good for me. I took a manifestation course and I'm actually doing it again. The person who I took it with, she's just she's redone it all, and it's before it was 4 weeks, now it's 16 weeks. So I can't wait to go through that and take what I learn and incorporate it in here in the podcast in segments. I don't. Who knows what it's going to be? I don't know what it's going to be. All I know is that right now on my 62nd, well, yesterday was my 62nd birthday. On the first day of my, or second day of my 62nd year, um, I'm taking that course, and I know it's going to bring me lots of ideas and interesting things. So much stuff. I mean, that's a long list that, and so much more that I didn't even like cover. But those were the highlights of the things that I just felt have really shifted me this year, have really shifted things for me this year, and a lot of which weren't even on the game plan a year ago. And how much can change. I mean, I said I learned new software. I have a whole list here that I didn't even tell you that I learned. Um, so much growth for me. Uh, and then I thought I'd close by just sharing you what I right now is on my radar for the next 12 months. Because like last year I started with a plan and who knows where it will go, but this is what I have planned so far. And I'm starting again with a mindset of this is going to be my best year. And I mean, it's going to be a lot better than last year because maybe I can get out of my house. And I was so excited to go out to dinner last night because I was like, I didn't care where we went. I just was like so excited to get out of the house. So it was really great. But I'm hoping to at least go on 3 flights because I have 3 flights last year that got canceled. And in fact, one of them needs to be booked by I think the 19th because that money will get lost if I don't book. So we're planning to go somewhere, or at least I'm planning to go somewhere. And my husband might luck out and come at least one place with me. But so yeah, and one of them is going to be my first retreat. So I'm looking at next fall to do my first retreat. It's been on my vision board. I'm super excited about it. I have no idea how I'm going to do it. I have no idea where it's going to be. I have no idea. I don't even know the dates yet. I'm thinking October. Um, but it's all a big iffy question mark. But hey, look at how many things were unknowns a year ago, right? So I know it's possible and I know it can happen. So I am getting a new computer. I got a new computer for my birthday. It hasn't arrived yet, but I'm so excited about it because my computer is 2015 and it is makes a lot of noise some days. So I'm excited about my new computer. I am going to write my book finally. And that is I mentioned at the beginning, I just signed up for the Mighty Tiny Book Academy. And it's going to get me a book. It might be short. It might not be the one that I was planning to write. I'm getting a lot of ideas about it. I'm really excited because sometimes you need to have a support system in order to accomplish a goal. And so I realized I want to write a book and I'm never going to write a book until I have a support system around that and doing that. Somebody that's going to make me accountable to doing it. So I signed up and I'm doing that. And so I'm going to be a student in that way. I'm going to meet more students. I don't know who they are, but I just have a new batch and they're amazing. And I'm expecting more amazing students in 2021. Uh, I am going to be welcoming a new grandbaby. I'm so excited in just a few days. I mean, by the next time you listen to an episode, I might be holding my grandbaby. And I don't know what sex it is because she's waiting for the surprise. So this is my younger daughter's second child. And I'm very excited. And we're supposed to have a snowstorm actually on Thursday. And so I'm on call right now. She is actually due 1 week from today. And her last baby was 3 days early. So who knows when this baby will come. But I am on call. And in fact, today I think I need to pack a bag just in case. All right, she's 2 hours away, by the way. So I'm going to babysit my grandson. Well, they have a plan for going to the hospital. And then I am going to get up there as quickly as I can and then take over helping with my grandson. So anyways, I already mentioned I'm going to go on at least 3 trips. I'm going to update my program. Of course, I'm going to update my program. I told you that everything I learn, I'm excited that I'm going to learn how to write a book because I have students who some of them are like, have a little inkling of doing that. And I'm like, well, if I have the experience of doing it, how's that going to help my students in amazing ways? So that's a lot of one of the reasons I like to learn so much is because I know it will have value, not just to me, but to the people that I help. I'm going to be growing my team more because as we expand and we get more students, obviously we need more support in different areas. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited for the team members that we don't have and haven't met yet, but I know are going to be real assets to the team in 1 year from now. I'm going to have new podcast guests. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to meet more people and see who's going to come on my podcast this year and what's going to transpire with my podcast. And what content will come out from my podcast and who it will inspire. Just so many good unknowns there. I'm going to do more breath work. I'm going to do more floating. I'm going to have more silence in my life. I'm going to have more personal growth. I'm going to learn new technology. There are things out there that we don't even know. They're just probably the software engineers are creating it right now. It's going to help me do better. That's going to help my company grow faster. And so I had this one guy contact me and he's putting together this It's like, oh god, what's the name of it? I can't even remember the name of it, but it's a brand new, platform, and it's gonna be able to take your podcast episodes, and you can do mini clips of them, and so it's really kind of interesting how he posed it, and it's brand new, so I thought that was kind of an interesting, concept, so I'm interested to see what comes of that. So you don't know what I mean, people are just, like, out there just ideating and, in ways that we don't even realize. I'm gonna have more creativity because my mind is I used to think I wasn't creative. Isn't that the crazy thing? Because we have beliefs that aren't true, and everybody is creative. We were born creative when we were children and little 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds. We're so look at your if you have grandchildren, look at how creative they are. But then life and, our educational system and whoever we came across, stifled that in us. For those of you who think you're not creative, think again because you are. You just haven't tapped into that, which is creative. And my number one big promise to myself that I want to accomplish is less hustle and more flow and more downtime. And I did more of that. I will say January was crazy because I did open enrollment for my school, but at the same time, I felt like it was the easiest and most fun I've ever had in like having what we call a launch. That's the kind of the terminology in the course and the launching a group coaching program world. But I want less. My tendency is like to hustle, like workaholic. Working my corporate job and having my side business for years. Especially when I was like Beachbody coach, I hustled nights and weekends with that business. Um, and so now it's like that is needs to be more of a intentional practice, and I'm looking forward to that. So, and I think my husband is too. So, I wanna get that RV trip. There's an RV trip in our future, and I wanna do that because 'cause I've not seen the Grand Canyon, and that is on my bucket list. That is definitely something I wanna do. So I hope this has helped. I mean, I think it went longer than I thought, but what I want and what I hope you get from this episode is to know that you have no idea what's going to happen for you over the next 12 months. What you think is going to happen is not necessarily what's going to happen. But what will unfold for you if you follow your heart and you trust your gut, you trust the process, you trust that the universe will take care of you as long as you're following joy and happiness, what makes you happy, what lights you up, then you're going to accomplish so much more than you thought you would have. And you're going to just feel like it's the best year that you've ever had. By 1 year from now, if you do that, you'll come out the other side so intensely sparked and thankful, for where you are, like, in the age you are. I can't believe how friggin' good I feel at 62 years old. I still, like, think, "How is it possible that I'm 62?" Because my vision of a 62-year-old is was never me. It was never, like, somebody who's, like, you know, just getting started. So much to accomplish and so much to do and so lit up. I did not have that as my model growing up. And so when I think and hear 62, I'm like, "Whoa." And I definitely do feel, like I feel better than I did if I'm looking at like 42, for example, or any of my 40s until I decided to change my life and go in a different direction. So that is possible for you. And if you're not feeling that you can do things, you can. You can. You can do anything. You guys got to get silent, like my word for the year, get silent, get find some apps to meditate and just start getting in touch with what is inside of you that you haven't been listening to, and it will come up and It will prompt you to take just a baby step. And don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid of it. There's nothing to be afraid of. There's something what I will tell you is there more to be afraid of by not taking that step. There's more to be afraid of by not taking that step. The magic, this phrase is actually true. That's why it's such a great quote. The magic happens outside the comfort zone. But we stay inside because of the fear, which won't let us step outside. But the fear is just our primitive brain trying to keep us safe. And it just thinks outside the comfort zone, lions and tigers and bears. But in our life, there are really no lions and tigers and bears. So stepping outside there is only joy and happiness. So I hope in the next 12 months you follow your dreams and your list is in 12 months shocking to you, and as mine is to me. So have a great week, and let's do this podcast thing for another year, because I have more to bring you and more exciting guests that will be coming. So thanks for listening and have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for tuning into the Not Your Average Lives podcast. If you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe on iTunes if you have an Apple device. You can find free resources and learn what else I have going on at the moment that might interest you on my website at notyouraveragegrandma.com. You can also find me on Instagram or Facebook at Not Your Average Grandma. If you liked this episode, it would make my heart so happy if you could leave me a 5-star rating. You can also add a review to let me know what you like about this podcast, which will help spread the word about it to others who need a little midlife inspiration. As always, be you, listen to your inner voice, and focus on reigniting that lost spark so you can start living your own Not Your Average life.